Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Bilal. This is Bilal Reads. And I'm here today to talk to you about this book right here, which is All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. Maggie Stiefvater, I think she's really popular amongst like YA readers because she did like a werewolf romance trilogy like back when Twilight was really big, and then she did the Scorpio races and like the Raven Boys, which was like about fairies, I think. I don't know. I've never read any of her books, and I'm probably not going to, but I've heard really good things about them, and so I picked this one up mainly because this cover is really pretty. I'm a sucker for really pretty covers, and I think this cover is just super. I hope y'all can see it through the film and through the camera, but I think it's really pretty. And so yeah, I just picked it up because I'm superficial like that. And I actually enjoyed this book. It was actually pretty well done. The plot was kind of simplistic. It was, I don't want to say it was predictable, but it was very much like Disney in the idea. Like, it kind of reminded me of like a Disney original movie, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but that's what it reminded me of. And I feel like for me, the main reason I liked this book so much was because of the writing style. So yeah, so as I was saying, this book takes place in rural Colorado in Bichoraro. I'm probably butchering it. And it follows this family, this Mexican family that's settled in Colorado, and the Lasorias. I'm also gonna butcher that name. I'm sorry, but it follows this family, and they're almost like mystic saints, as you can tell from like the title, because they have the power to bestow miracles on people who come to them. These people are called pilgrims. It follows three cousins. Daniel, who's the official saint of the town, he's the one who will bestow miracles upon people. Beatrice, his second in command almost, she also has the ability to bestow miracles on people. She doesn't like to do it, and she's known for having no feelings. And then third cousin Joaquin, he can also bestow the miracles, but that's rarely mentioned in the book. And he's mainly known as Diablo. That's his DJ name, because he runs a underground DJ station that his other two cousins help him with. So those are our three main characters of this book. And so this is now when I'm getting into like spoilery aspects of like the plot and stuff, but I'm going to try to keep the spoilers to a minimum. So let's get into it. So this book basically follows these three cousins, as I mentioned before, and this new person who enters the town. His name is Pete. He's not a pilgrim because he isn't there for like a miracle. He's there because his aunt told him that if he wants to work, because he got rejected from the military, which was his one goal because he has a hole in his heart, that he can go there and work there, and he decides that's what he's gonna do, and he wants to own a moving truck company business, and so that's why he's there. And so what ends up happening is there ends up being two very different romances that develop in this book. And I don't really mind romance in my books. I kind of feel like if it can do without it, it can do without it. But I actually really liked the romance in this book. They were actually really well done. So the first romance is with Pete and Beatrice. The second romance is with Daniel the Saint and a pilgrim named Maritza. And this is where the plot of the book kicks in. Because in this world, the pilgrims and the saints, all of the Losoria family, cannot interact with each other. Because when the Losorias bestow a miracle upon you, it turns the darkness you have into like a physical form. And that's the first part of the miracle. And then the second part of the miracle is on your own, where you have to get rid of the physical darkness yourself. So in this book, when the Losorias have been in Colorado for a couple of generations, and now because of the fact that the Losorias are forbidden to have interactions with the pilgrims, because if they help a pilgrim, that means that their own darkness, they perform a miracle on themselves. And doing so, their darkness is like considered worser than any others because they have so much magic in them. And so already from the get-go, Maritza and Daniel's relationship is like fraught. But they still fall in love, and what ends up happening is Daniel aids Maritza, gives her advice. His miracle takes a physical form. He runs off to live in the desert. And then his two cousins and Pete have to like have to like find him and bring him back and defeat his darkness for him. So that's the plot of the book. I don't want to spoil it too much other than I already have, I guess. But it was actually really well done. The plot, like for me, I kind of guessed what the ending was, and this is going to be a major spoiler, but his ending is that his darkness is the fact that he needs to understand that he has his own darkness and he has to like overcome it himself, and he has to understand that like he, other than just listening to people because he's a good listener, he also has to like see the world through their eyes. So it was kind of very like Disney cookie cutter formulaic, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And then Marisa was like the edgy emo girl because she has like no emotions, and like obviously she does, but she doesn't like to think she does. And so that's like what I mean by when I say this book was kind of predictable. I kind of could guess that it would have a happy ending. All the characters would end up together and who would end up with who. And normally that would be like a con for me, but the thing that I really liked about this book was the way it was written. Because this book really is written in magical realism. So for me, I've rarely seen that done in YA realism. And that's the only reason I think that this book, I liked it so much, because the way it was written was super cool and super unique. So this book really makes like the settings of inanimate objects really come to life. And so that's why I really liked this book. It was super whimsical, super well done. And the characters, even though like their arcs and stuff were kind of predictable, they worked for me because, you know, like sometimes you need like a quick and like non like mental process, like a book that doesn't really involve too much thinking behind it. That was what this book was for me. So I liked it. I'd probably recommend this to friends. So thank you for watching, and once again, I'm Bilal. This is Bilal Reads. If you like this video, thank you. Please subscribe. Please watch the rest. And thanks, and I'll see you in my next one.